I bought the little 250 Rally in between lockdowns. The idea was to explore the Trans-Euro Trail, which is on my doorstep. It has been great fun, but now the guys are talking about going further afield, back into Europe. So, is it the end of the line for my soft roader? There's quite a bit of talk about going back to Italy, riding those fantastic passes again, but going a bit further over to the Dolomites, picking up a few easy trails, getting a tan, having a few beers. Sounds bloody marvellous to me. But not with 24 horsepower. I took out Yamaha's T7 and that was so powerful compared to the little Honda. It would just make much more sense. We can just get further. Oh, the times somebody's cocked up the ferry crossings and we've had to sit on motorways for 6 hours at full chat just to make it back in time. Oh, happy days. The bike is fantastic at what it's designed to do. The boys and I usually get a week, maybe 10 days if we're lucky. So I don't really fancy chewing up a couple of 1,000 miles on a 250 single. So that's a bit of a half-baked plan for next year. Whether it happens or not is a completely different kettle of fish. But I will be sorry to see the Rally go. She's been absolutely bomb-proof, never burned a drop of oil. Cracking little bike for the trails. So I'm thinking a more comfortable, more powerful adventure bike is back on the cards. The T7 was good, but I'm not entirely sure it was right for me. However, at long last, I've managed to get my hands on the elusive Tuareg. And quite predictably, weather conditions were absolutely perfect. Great. Freezing cold and soaking wet. Fabulous. However, you could argue these are actually brilliant conditions to test ride a big adventure bike. After all, they're supposed to inspire confidence in all kinds of weather. And I am pleased to say the Tuareg does exactly that. In no time at all, I was having an absolute blast. That induction noise, my God, it's sublime. It's absolutely awesome. Yes, I am 12 years old. Right, the Tuareg chucks out a very respectable 79 ponies, and that suspension is top draw, firmer than the T7. And in my opinion far superior, and the riding position is also spot on, no complaints. The demonstrator I took out had something called a Comfort 3D seat, which is armchair indulgent, and it does boast that lovely grippier material for your fabric adventure suit. I don't care what that seat costs, it's worth every penny. Around the doors, the Tuareg is surprisingly agile, even at 204 kilograms. There's a whole bunch of technology in there. Switchable traction, cruise control, riding modes, yada yada. The fueling is excellent, not as snappy as the T7. An easier power delivery worked very well in those greasy conditions. And I do like some of the design elements. The super chunky brake lever, the rear light, and the splash of colour on the front fairings work well. Oh, and thank goodness, at last a big adventure bike with tubeless rims. I was very surprised at the Tuareg. It did tick a lot of boxes for me, and in the wet it performed faultlessly, and that screen actually works for me. But it wouldn't be me if I didn't have something to complain about. The foot pegs. Ah, the bloody foot pegs. They're exactly at that horrible position where they argue with your ankles. The switchgear does feel a little cheap. Not as nasty as Yamaha's, but still could be better. And for some reason I kept nudging the full beam on by accident. And the elephant in the room. I'm still not liking that front end. It does look better in the flesh, but it's still a bit odd to me. Perhaps it's just missing a beak or a high-level mudguard, but either way, I'm just not loving those looks. However, despite my complaints, the Aprilia trumps the T7 with an easy 8 out of 10. The Tuareg is an Italian motorcycle. Now, I'm old enough to remember the early 1990s when Italian manufacturers used to close for weeks on end over the summer holidays. Getting hold of a part was near impossible, and even if you could, it cost a small fortune. Let's be honest, Italian motorcycles never had the greatest reputation for reliability. Let's hope those days are over. If I had to sum up the Tuareg, it would be remarkably easy. Despite the freezing temperatures and the horrible rain, I just wanted to keep riding. That's gotta mean something. Thanks for watching.